everybody, and welcome back to Plus 10 Melanin. My name is Crystal, also known as Crystal Killjoy. And over here is, I'll let you introduce yourself because you're that cool.
I am the Grim Freaker. Yay!
Freaker. And we're here to talk about stuff.
Stuff and things. Things and stuff. So,
Yeah,
what have you been up to this week?
just working and being stressed. This week is the week of outages, so I haven't really played much games because work has been so stressful. This server goes down, that server goes down, so I've been, doing the adult thing, and it kind of sucks.
Adulting has its moments. Adulting has its advantages and disadvantages. But yeah, stress definitely sucks.
Yeah. So hopefully you've been making up for my lack of gaming with doing something. What have you been doing?
I have been playing the Division non
Oh, that's right.
stop. Like, that game. I mean, you know what? It's not the most perfect game in the whole wide world, but it is strangely addicting. I've
Seems like
go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, seems like it. Like, I just every time I get on, it's like, oh, I'm just playing the Division, and all the status updates like go on my feed. I'm like, everybody's playing this game. I feel so left out.
It is. It's an awesome game. I've never really been that much of like a multiplayer type person. I'd rather play games by myself. But now that I've been playing it, I find myself looking on the map because the map tells you, and you'll see like little circles that have like your friend, and they are like running all around the map and stuff. And I just like, oh, let me see what this person is doing. Jump in their party. Oh, what's that person doing? Let me help them do this. Let me help them do that. It's amazing. And then today I did a mission, and I said, you know what? Let me randomly matchmake with somebody and get this mission done. And it went super awesome. It went
The
really
idea of
well.
doing that horrifies me, but hey, sounds like it went well. So, like, what are like the nature of the missions? Because I've seen gameplay and I've seen your gameplay, obviously, but I haven't really looked too deep into it. I don't like to look super deep in the games if I know I'm gonna want to play it, but I can't. Like, I don't have the console,
Right.
so I'm kind of like going blind here. Like, I'm a newbie when it comes to this. So, what are these missions like?
Okay, so like you'll have like your typical missions where you have to rescue somebody, and usually there's someone that is like integral to building the base, like because you have a medical area, a medical lab, a tech lab, and you have a security area. And like apart from trying to find out who's the bastard that set this virus off, um, you have to build that so that you can get like um, your technology much better, way better. Now my turret, it spits flames at the enemies and stuff, or it shoots like these little like tasers and like it tases the enemies and everything. Or the medical wing, you get more med packs and you get like a hazmat, I guess like a I guess you call it a mask, like a mask when you go into the virus infected areas where it's like high concentrated. And then the other missions you have is kind of like where you have those big baddies, um, protect the which we call it, the packages. Or it's like like small stuff, like those are like side missions and things like that. But then you have the big ones. We have to like you have to ambush the police station because maybe some thugs have been in there, and they're holding hostages and things like that. It's like it's
So there's
nothing too
variety.
complicated. Yeah, it's a variety. It's nothing too like super complicated. It's just you know you do
And
it, and yeah, it's enough to keep you super busy, and it does make you want to handle things with a team because things can get really hard at times. So
hmm.
hmm
I sit here and resist the urge to go out and buy a console. I haven't been like a serious console gamer in so long, but there's a lot of stuff coming out that really makes it attractive. Like, I actually had a PS4 for a while. It didn't really suck me in, so I ended up selling it. And now I'm just kind of like, maybe it's time. Like, I figured at one point I'd buy it again, like when enough games come out that interesting. And I know that, like, I can play it on PC too, but I don't know. I just it looks like it screams console to me when I look at it. But that's besides the point. It sounds fun, and I'm being
yeah.
sucked in.
It's,
just to
it's
watch it.
great. If you're not ready to get if you're not ready to get a console right now, of course you can get it on PC because it's on PC. I think I'm pretty sure it is.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I thought console. I think most of the people that have been sharing it from PlayStation Network. So my mind is just like, oh, console game, blah blah blah. I keep forgetting that it can do that now, which is also something very attractive about it. But I'm gonna pretend I didn't think of that because I'd like to keep my money.
No, no, that's
Speaking
good. Being
of
an adult.
money, speaking of money, Stardew Valley,
Oh boy.
500,000 sales.
Wow.
That's that's not well, not surprising. I'm really happy. I didn't think it was gonna happen so fast. But it's really cool. I like to see like indie games really taking off and making a difference. And like, I don't know, it's not all about the triple A's all the time anymore.
Mhm. I'm thinking about throwing my money at it too. I'm not so sure yet. Like I because I see so many people talking about it online, it's very tempting and I've like stuck my way onto Reddit kind of, and you know how much
Yeah,
I hate Reddit. So I'm just like, "Oh, let me just jump on there and see what they're saying." And it's tempting. Very tempting.
but of course it comes. Of course, something bad has to happen, and there has to be some kind of downside.
Oh boy.
Gameplay is great, and the soundtrack is awesome, and of course the modding community is like, hey, and I think it's great that the game supports mods. However, as some people may have seen, there is a whitewashing mod
Oh
to make
god.
the one. Her name is Maru. She is the only biracial character in the game. Her dad is black in the game, and her mom's white. She's biracial. She's tan, and she is I think, one of two non-white or white appearing dateable characters. And of course, a mod comes out to make her white.
Why
And it's just like,
though?
right. They're like, well, she's biracial, so technically she is white. I'm like, okay, so she's biracial, so she's tan. So why, what, like, the arguments that I'm seeing for it are just, the typical, like, oh, well, we can make this character dark skinned. Why can't we make this one light skinned? I'm like, in a game where all but two characters are already light, like, you're telling me that your fantasy world is one that has the least amount of diversity possible. So I'm not really, not really taking you too seriously right now. Your reasoning and stuff, and that's the main argument that I see going around. And then the counter argument, and the creator hasn't really put his foot down, which is kind of disappointing.
Mm-mm.
Some
Um,
of the but yeah,
yeah, I feel some kind of way about that, because it's like you have all these like why make a mod like that? Like what is the purpose? It doesn't even improve the story whatsoever. So now you're saying, well, she's half white, so technically, okay, so now you're just trying to erase the black side of the characters. Is I don't know.
I guess
People are
for them
so
it does
odd.
make the gameplay better. I guess
That's so
that's what it's like to be racist.
fucking odd.
Yeah, I was just like,
It's
okay,
weird.
well, thanks for that,
Wow,
guys.
yay! Let's
A nice
totally
reminder that
whitewash
the gaming
everything.
community wants us there.
Yeah, woo. No wonder I
Whatever,
don't
we're
have
here
enough
anyway.
no wonder we don't have enough representation. Anyway,
Seriously.
so, remember last week when we were talking about how Square Enix is making a Thief movie? And
Yes.
we were like, I was just sitting here like, why? So, nobody, when you say why, you're not really looking for an explanation really, but like Square Enix took that literally and decided to explain why they're making a Thief movie.
Oh,
Right.
I can't wait.
So their explanation is, we have always been passionate about telling stories and bringing them to different mediums. So David and Fosse, he's a studio head over there, and he says, with the intricate world of Thief being made into a feature film, a larger audience will be able to dive into this universe. So basically, what he's saying is, we want to make this aware so that we can take your money. Like, that's what I'm just getting from it. That's the bottom line. We want to make other people aware, and maybe we'll get some back sales for Thief. Oh, this we'll watch this movie. Oh, this movie looks cool. Oh, this was originally a game. Maybe I should go and buy it. So I think that's what's going on here. I'm not really convinced that this is going to be a good movie.
Right. Like I understand wanting to broaden your audience and then using that to bring just like the movie fans into gaming, especially since gaming is more mainstream than it ever has been. I get that. But the thing is, yeah, like a lot of these crossovers or, movie renditions of games, a lot of times are really just milk their fan base and they don't have a lot of substance. I'm all for a video game based movie if it's really good.
Right.
Um, and if it actually looks like they stuck to the game and they put effort into it and they didn't just make it so that they could have, tits bouncing around on the female characters or, stupid stereotypes or overly done effects or whatever, I'm cool with it. But if you do something like, of course, I will always use this example because I'm obsessed. Silent Hill.
Oh
The
God.
first movie wasn't too bad.
Right.
The second one was an absolute train wreck. If you do that, then just don't even make a movie. Just don't touch it. Just leave it alone.
But they're counting on the fans of the game, and they are just like, you know what, we need to I just, I really want to understand why this of all the games, of all the Square Enix games, why? It just I can't see it being that great. I don't know. I don't know. Square Enix, I mean, whatever. I guess I'll just um, wait for it to come out with a trailer or something. But
Yeah, give it a chance, I guess. I mean, I guess I would rather them do this than one of their like much bigger names that has a lot more writing on it and to, have the franchise possibly ruined by a terrible film. So, I mean, I guess I prefer it this way. I just hope it's good overall.
yeah. And I guess in this week's everybody's getting a movie, um, Portal and Half Life, they're getting a movie too. So
Yeah.
says J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
How would you? I
I
don't know. How would you make a movie out of that?
I don't know what they're doing over here. They're reaching for the stars. I mean,
I
they
mean, Half
are.
Life, sure. Portal, the whole movie's gonna be filmed in like one facility. I mean, I don't know. I don't. I don't know.
Yeah. So I mean, these movies have been in the works. Like he started working on them about 3 years ago.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they already have writers assigned to them or anything. But he doesn't really. He's not. He there's. It's kind of there isn't much to talk about as far as like he's not letting in like oh and all this development and everything. He's kind of just the article that I'm reading. He kind of just like oh I thought about this way back when at Dice 2013, and I was at a Valve panel with Gabe Newell, and he's like it's still in the early stages. So 3 years ago, still early stages. Now 2016, still in early stages. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. I guess maybe he's still getting the story together and you know picking out actors and whatnot. But I don't know what. Um, I just don't know how to feel about all these like movies. It just seems like they're grabbing for everything, these reboots and then video game movies. I don't want to do it. I
Neither do
can't.
I. Like, I guess it's normal because we're so used to like books getting movie adaptations, and we're kind of living through the period in time where video games are crossing over to that same area, where now it's going to be common for video games to have adaptations. But I think it's just weird for us to get used to, and I don't know, I feel like avid readers are used to their stuff getting movie renditions and possibly not being that great, but we're still kind of like, or maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a brat. I don't know.
No, I'm
Probably.
not. Maybe I'm a big ass brat too, cause I'm not. I just don't want to. Nope. I don't want any parts of it until I start seeing some serious trailers and some actual like
Quality.
engaging story. I don't want any parts of that nonsense. So I'm good, but thanks for the offer.
Yeah.
Um, So the biggest news of this week is Microsoft has jumped on the late motherfucking train. So Microsoft puts it this way, they decide that they want to cross connect with other platforms online. This is something that has been discussed in the gaming community for a very, very long time, especially when it comes
Forever.
to, when it comes to, let's say games like Final Fantasy 14.
Oh yeah.
And the people that were playing on the PC and people that were playing on the PS4 could actually interact with each other, and they were playing in the same world. And people were like, "Okay, so what's up, Microsoft?" And they were like, "Oh no, it says in our contract that we can't hang with y'all. That's not allowed." So Microsoft in turn says, "We extend our hand to PS4, to Sony, as if they weren't the ones who said that they weren't going to do that, because they're the ones who
Right.
made the rule. They try to make it seem like they were the one who thought up the idea.
And came out like, just kidding, please love me. I'm like,
Right.
well,
Weird, weird. So it says Microsoft has announced it will natively support cross-platform play between Xbox One, Windows 10, and other online multiplayer networks. You can't see me, but I'm doing the bunny ear quotes.
yeah,
Yeah.
other,
Yeah.
which makes me think, what are we talking about?
Yeah,
Steam,
what other
Origin, Game.
console? But yeah, so it says in addition to natively supporting cross-platform play between Xbox One and Windows 10 games that use Xbox Live, we're enabling developers to support cross-network play as well. This means players on Xbox One and Windows 10 using Xbox Live will be able to play with players on different online multiplayer networks, including other consoles and PC networks. So the first game to support that functionality will be Rocket League. That seems to be super popular. I haven't played it yet, but yeah. So that's happening. I don't know. I think in a they're probably gonna only have like a certain amount of games that are able to do this cross play stuff, because I can't see it always being able to. I mean, that would be huge if they did
Yeah,
allow all
it would take
games.
so many resources to support though, and like so much integration. It would be great, but I don't see it like supporting mainstream and AAA games and things like that. Like indie games and small games, I can see, sure. And I'm sure there'll be a few hit titles that they'll do it for, but I don't know. I hope, but I can't. I can't envision it.
I'm wondering how that would affect sales, because there are a lot of people that buy consoles because their friends have them,
Yeah,
and that could take away some sales, where it's just like, okay, well, I can play with you on my PS4 now, so why should I get an Xbox?
that's what I was thinking. It's like, is it going to lock people into their chosen console, make them less likely to branch out?
Hmm. Interesting,
Especially,
interesting. I mean, because I know I was thinking about getting an Xbox One, but I don't know. I mean, if this is gonna be a thing, I probably won't even get it. Cause why? There's no reason
right?
for me to even get an Xbox One if they allow this to happen. So,
And if they do that, they're going to have to really put more emphasis on uh like console exclusives or something like that, because that would be one of the only things holding people to a certain console. It's
right.
like if you can cross-platform and you have yours of choice, well, I don't know, I'm not going to get this PS4 anymore, but oh wait, there's this game coming out exclusively. So yeah, it's going to make things interesting.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna have to make their exclusive games, their console exclusive games, really good. Like it's gotta be like super magnificent. Where it's
Yeah,
yeah, because
see.
otherwise nobody's gonna fucking care. Let's see what else is here. Oh, more Square Enix news. So Square Enix has been teasing this new game that they are bringing out, and it's taking, I guess, some type of influence from Chrono Trigger. And the new title, they've released the name, is called I Am Setsuna.
And
So
it looks great.
yeah, it does look pretty cool. It was formerly called Project Setsuna, and it's from a new studio called Tokyo RPG Factory. They announced it at E3 last year. So let's see what is it? Okay, so it's a 90s classic RPG. Um, that's basically what's selling it. It's supposed to be for the PS Vita as well. They're not giving a lot of details on it. They really
Yeah.
aren't. But it's for the PS4 and it's going to be on Steam. It's supposed to be here in the West this summer. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So it's just going to be on the PS Vita, PlayStation 4, and Steam. See, we were just talking about this.
Yep.
Nobody wants an Xbox. They're not going to put it on the Xbox. So, yeah, that's the new one. I'm probably I don't know. I'm probably gonna get this. I've been dying to get like a Japanese RPG in my hands for a long, long time. I haven't been
I
playing
miss playing them.
yeah, I haven't played
Because,
any
like, I
strict ones.
play MMOs and shooters and stuff now, but, like, when I was growing up, it was all about the Japanese RPGs. Couldn't get enough.
Yeah, I haven't had a. I think the last real RPG that I've played that is besides Final Fantasy VII would be was it Lunar Star Story, and it was just it's just an amazing story. So if it's and I don't think I finished Chrono Trigger. So hopefully maybe this will give me like a bit of nostalgia where I'll just feel like okay, maybe I'll go back and play this. But this seems interesting from the little tidbits that they're showing because there's not much that they're releasing about this, which
Right.
kind of
Which I think is
sucks.
good. Because if they're claiming it to be some kind of successor to Chrono Trigger, which was insanely popular, I think they need to be careful how they release details about it and, make sure everything is being received well before they move on to the next thing. I don't know. Like, it sounds like it could be big. I never finished Chrono Trigger. Well, first off, I was allowed to have my own console when I was growing up, so I did not play when it came out. And then I started playing it at some point. I think I was emulating it, and emulator or the ROM actually wasn't working right, and it crashed um, tons of times, and in the same spot. And I was like, you know what? I don't have the patience for this, so I never finished it. And I have a good friend of mine who's never forgiven me for that, and I need to go back and finish it, and I will. But I don't know. It's super exciting. I actually don't know if he knows about this yet because I feel like he would have said something already. So this is gonna be exciting. A lot of people are gonna be freaking out over it. I'm
Yeah,
excited to see it. I can't share the sentiment because I didn't grow up on it, but I'm gonna like watching everybody freak out.
that's awesome. Yeah, we'll see. We will see what happens.
Yep,
Well, in other good news, have you ever played Oddworld or Oddworld Abe's Odyssey?
I have not.
Wow.
Yeah, I suck. Get
Wow.
used to it. Get used to it. Get used to it,
I'm
guys. I
like,
suck.
you know what I feel like when I'm talking to somebody and like, did you see this movie? Like a childhood movie that everybody probably should have watched, and I'll be like, no. Oh, did you see Never Ending Story? Nah, I didn't see it. What? How did you not see that movie? Um,
Yeah, so I was always that person growing up because I grew up in a really conservative family, and for a long time I couldn't watch anything mainstream. I couldn't read anything mainstream. So yeah, get used to it. You're gonna hear a lot of that.
oh no, you'll be hearing that from me too, because my family's like super religious and
Oh yeah.
demons and
Oh
all
yeah.
that stuff. But
Tell us
anyway,
about this odd world.
yeah, Oddworld. It's called Oddworld Soulstorm. So this originally the studio that created Oddworld closed down, and then they reopened. They created Oddworld New and Tasty, and it's on. I believe that it's on PC, PS4, I think Xbox One, not sure, and the Wii U. And now they're coming out with Oddworld Soulstorm. It's supposed to be for 2017. Now, a little bit about Oddworld since you had never played it before. So it's like these like alien people, right? And they I guess I don't know what kind of alien people that they are, but they're really cool. And so these other like crocodile like type aliens come on and they land on a planet or whatever, and they're running things, of course, because they're like more dominant and whatnot. And after a while, they start up this plant, this warehouse that makes these different types of food from the animals. And then when the animals go extinct, they kind of move on to the next animal. They move on to the next animal. Well, they're running out of animals, and now they started feeding on the population, the alien population, like the humble people. Like they found out Abe,
Boy.
yeah, Abe, Abe found out that he was sneaking around like late at night, and they were having a meeting, and so many fake words because they don't really use dialogue. They were just like, so we're running out of this animal, but here's the thing, we can use something else. And then they show like a picture of like the alien people that are on Earth, and not Earth but their planet, and they're grinding their meat and making like these new tasty like meaty snacks and stuff like that. And they don't know that they're eating their own people, so it's really fucked up. And so your goal is to free your kind from not only working in the factory but from the planet in general. And you chant, and like this portal opens, and you save the people, they jump through the portal and whatnot, and such and such and such. So there,
Wow.
yeah, it's actually a very very popular game. I feel like you would like it. And the studio, they are claiming that, excuse me, they're promising a dark twisted trip into Abe's heart and soul, as if this story isn't fucking twisted enough.
Yeah, it was like, did they think they were lacking in any way? Just
I
from that description, I was like, this is really different than what I thought it was gonna
Yeah. I,
describe.
I don't know what's going on here, but I'm giving him a chance. I'm a little scared. So it says, witness Abe's horrifying conflict with a terrifying new machination, a fresh narrative, a complete story retake inspired by our original tale. A big visual and cinematic leap aiming to break new ground for Oddworld. Intelligent new mechanics, twisted new devices, enabling highly explosive deviousness. A dark parable that tells an epic tale of a volatile society pushed to its limits. So, the release is like super far away. They're not committing to any consoles right now, but it looks like the big hope is that they actually bring it to Nintendo as well, because they have like a new NX system coming out. That's the new Nintendo system. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah. I just learned about that like a few days ago. I was like, Nintendo's coming out with a new console. And I feel so bad because I remember when Nintendo announced about consoles, I used to be able to see it all over the internet. And it's almost like nobody
Yeah.
cares anymore.
Yeah, like I even paid attention. I think I don't know. I don't really know what happened. It's kind of sad. Like I'm used to it being a bigger name than it is, and I know things evolve, but I'm just like, Nintendo who? Like I have a 3DS and I have a Wii somewhere, but like, yeah, that is sad.
That
I feel
yeah.
old.
Yeah, I know. Like Nintendo was a thing.
Yeah,
Nintendo was really
all
a
the
thing.
rage.
Yeah, when I was young, we we only had 32-bit games. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Let me see what
Nintendo 64! Like
I know.
that, yeah, that was our era.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll be able to spin tales of when Sega made consoles as well. The last great console, the
Oh,
Dreamcast.
man, old school. Everything old school. And speaking of old school, do you remember the great story of the Tuskegee Airmen?
Yes.
Well, in some non-gaming news, and the first piece of non-gaming news that we have, I just discovered this. I think it was last week when I was surfing around the internet. And apparently, there is a comic book coming out. I think it's a six-part or something like that. There's a Kickstarter for it. It's called Tuskegee Airs, and it is based on description. It features six sci-fi adventures that follows a small squad of young, gifted aviators who are forced to become Earth's last line of defense. Um, and the first thing that caught my eye, obviously, was Tuskegee, and I was like, "Oh my God, black people in planes in the future."
Right.
And for the entire Kickstarter, I was like, "Oh my I was super excited. I think they got all the way funded, which, yeah. So their pledged goal was $10,000,
Mm.
and they received $74,131, which is
Wow.
amazing, and I'm super happy. But it was very, very sad because I discovered it late. Like, I'm late to everything, obviously. Um, so it was already funded because I really wanted to back the project, not
Right.
just for the benefits, but I wanted to put something in the project, and I know I still can. I'm just like, I wanted to be a part of it when it was a thing. But it's really neat. They have a video up on Kickstarter that kind of talks about it, and shows you the creators, which is Marcus Williams and Greg Burnham. So talk a little about themselves. You can see some of the art. I'm really excited for it. Um, the art's kind of, I don't want to say anime-ish. You know what? Let me not try to even be deep with like my critique here. It's comic art, whatever. Go look at
Yeah.
it. Link will be somewhere.
No, I totally get it. I was kind of pissed off because when I got the link, I was pressing the thing so that I can play, and I was like, "Oh, it's
Yeah,
over."
that
Damn, I
moment.
wanted to put, I really wanted to put some money into it because it looks cool. I get what you're saying about the whole like anime feel. I guess it's more like an American version, kind of like Avatar, The Last
Right.
Airbender.
I like it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I'm excited. I did not get a chance to kind of like go deep into the story. I'm probably gonna do it after the show is over, but um I was just excited to have because like I've read books about the Tuskegee Airmen, and now I'm seeing like females in there, and I was just like, oh man, that'd be really cool. I wonder what it's gonna be like, and plus it's black people are just really killing it this year with these stories and artwork and things, and I just want to make sure that I support them as much as possible. So
They're
this is
they're
really
really
cool.
just going all out with the creativity and stuff this year, and I'm just like, 2016 is the year. Oh my God. Wallet empty, but it's for a good cause.
Yeah, so the next part in gaming, non gaming news. So I'm not really a Harry Potter fan,
Mm.
but J.K. Rowling has been finding her way into my feed more often than I'd like. I kind of spoke on. This is not the first time her name has been mentioned on this subject, and it has to deal with like race relations and such. So I didn't really give two shits about her before. I mean, I read the first Harry Potter book; it was cool, but not enough to really make me a huge fan. But
Right.
the last time that I spoke on her, it was because there's the new Harry Potter play. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Is it Hermione? Is it Hermione? Like what is?
Yeah, it's Hermione. At least that's
Okay,
what it was in the movie, and
yeah.
so I'm like, whatever.
So they made her Hermione black, and the internet broke, and they were just
Yeah.
like, "Oh, she can't be because you didn't describe her this way," and blah 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 blah. You know the internet, how the internet gets,
Me.
overflows with
Everything must be about
racism.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's back in the news again, and the reason why this caught my eyes is because this article that I actually picked up, it said J.K. Rowling's history of magic in North America was a travesty from start to finish. So I'm like, okay, y'all think she is fucking God. What could she have possibly done wrong here? So I don't know if you read anything about it, but
Yeah.
supposedly,
I read the article from Native Appropriations, actually.
oh, then
It
go
went
ahead.
in.
You know more about this than I do. I was just side eyeing the shit out of her. Like I don't know what is going on.
Yeah, so essentially, she's doing history magic in North America. And as a lot of people do when they write about a certain country or something, they take a lot of aspects of said cultures in the country and kind of put their own twist on them. We know that, our certain beloved people are great at doing that. J.K. Rowling decided to reach into the cookie jar of Native American culture and just yank out the cookies and just crumble them. And I say Native American culture as a blanket instead of pointing towards certain ethnic groups and tribes because really that's what she did. She made a smorgasbord of random concepts from you know, vastly different cultures and basically was like, yeah, skinwalkers and this and that and
What?
a part yeah, so she took a lot of concepts from like I guess Native American what is the word I'm looking for? Folklore?
Okay.
She took a couple things like that and then she like mixed them up with her own concepts of magic. Um, and she kind of used some stuff that's considered sacred
Hmm.
and shouldn't really be kind of like misconstrued and thrown out there. But I think the main thing that was in the article is that they mentioned something about in North America the natives practice magic without wands, and I think in Harry Potter they had mentioned something about how you can practice magic without a wand and whatever, and the stronger you are, the more that you'll be capable of doing magic without your wand and having it be effective. So she had changed this, I believe, in the whole North American history of magic thing, to where your magic was concentrated and it was better with a wand. And the wand
Oh
was something
God.
that the yeah, the European wizards and witches
Oh
introduced to the
God.
natives, and I'm just like, maybe you didn't mean anything bad, but as an author and as a public figure,
Come
you
on.
have to consider these things. You have to take them into account just because, yeah, it's a fictional story, but that type of message that you're parallel to so many other narratives that have actually been true for American people. And it's, irresponsible at best and just, downright racist at worst. So, the grabbing of the random cultural aspects and then that was the main thing. And there are a lot of things in the article. I would really recommend that everyone check out the article, both the Native appropriations and the Ionine article. But there's a lot of things in there, but those are the two things at least that stood out to me. And I was just like, why you do this? Why?
Wow. So basically, she just like transferred systematic racism into her story because she gave like Europeans all the power. Just like before it was like, oh, you can use it. You can use.
Right?
You're more powerful without a wand. Oh no, this story, how I'm rewriting history and such, I'm just gonna make it so that they have all the power because they actually use wands and stuff. And then y'all, since y'all don't use wands, y'all are like the lesser
Yeah.
using.
I'm like, please, just be a little bit more responsible with the concepts that you're. Oh, jeez.
That's That's so typical though. Like
It
I
is.
I can't even get mad at that cuz all right, sharing a little bit about me. I'm very interested in different I guess I'm not really religious. I'm more spiritual, but one thing that I've become very interested in is like African culture and how they deal with like magic and things like that. And the one of course, one of the things that people usually get mixed up is the religion of voodoo and hoodoo, which is like the magic part. And
Right.
there are a lot of Europeans that like still today that say that they gave us like they gave Africans magic and we got voodoo dolls from them and this and that and they came
That's
with this first and I was like, wow.
that's cute.
Wow, girl. Who taught you that? Who taught you that?
Yeah.
And it
Where
was,
did you hear that?
where did you get that from? So, I don't know, I can relate in a way, and the side eye goes all the way to you, girl, JK. You almost had me. You
Yeah.
almost had me with
Got
the
everyone
whole.
real excited with the whole Black Hermione comment.
Yeah,
And then she
you
came out with
almost
this.
had me. You almost fucking got me. And then you pulled this stunt. See what I'm saying? So, nope. Forget it. I was going to go ahead. I was going to go and buy a physical copy of Harry Potter and reread it, and then maybe try and get to the second part, or maybe go and watch the movie. But no, I'm not even gonna waste my time. And she's so insistent on it. Like, people, I've seen people on Twitter like, hey girl, this does not sound right. But she's like, oh no, in my story, it goes like this and that and this and this and that. And, she's trying to like white explain
Yeah, in my
everything.
story, I can rewrite everything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Completely free of its original context.
Hmm.
That's not how it works. It's
Yeah.
not how it works.
Yeah, so of course people, the racists are telling other people, oh, it's not such a big deal, it's just a story, but yet they cannot apply that logic to Black Hermione, so
Right.
whatever,
Exactly.
you
And
know.
the other part of it is, okay, it's not that big of a deal. It's just a story. You have people who literally believe so many false things about other cultures because they've been popularized by stories and movies and different things like that. And like a lot of people, they're not going to take the time to actually read up about the realities of different Native American cultures and cultures in general. They don't, because if they did, they wouldn't be the type of person that really needed to be corrected in the first place. They'd already be on the right page.
Hmm.
But instead, instead of paying attention and learning for themselves, they're picking up whatever information from movies and different types of media. And so they're getting completely wrong stereotypes. So, yeah, it's important because I can guarantee you can list off 5 things you know about some culture, and I can tell you they're all wrong and they're all movie stereotypes, and the reality is way different. So I really don't want to hear the excuse of, oh, it's just a story. It's like, no, see, you believe your own stories.
Right.
Like you trick yourself. And we're trying to help you. Like we're trying to help us, but we're also trying to help you out. You need to
Right.
listen.
Right, you are wrong. Please take these facts, please take these links provided to you by Google and educate yourself. But a lot of them really don't want to. Like, they the logic is just so wild with these folks. Like, it's just
And see,
super
educating yourself
wild.
requires you to admit that you don't already know everything.
Right.
And that's the most difficult thing for people. They don't like to realize that they're wrong or even, not just straight wrong, but maybe just innocently misguided. But they just rather kid themselves into believing they already know everything instead of just admitting, hey, it's not that bad to not know everything. You can't possibly know everything. Hey, I was wrong about this. Let me try to actually be right instead of just claiming I'm right. But
Right.
that's
It's
people.
it's hard. It's hard. I guess the next the next bit of news, I guess it's gaming, but it's non-gaming as well because it deals with kind of like a person, but she's a streamer. Her name is Rainbow Kid. She spells it in like this really weird way. um she's a Twitch streamer, and she made this announcement that she's done being a booby streamer. So it's exactly what it sounds like. There are a lot of women that go on Twitch and they play their games, whether it be very well or badly, and their showcase are their tits. I personally cannot knock the hustle, because if there wasn't a demand for it, they would not be doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I mean, more power to ya. I personally, I'm a part of the itty bitty titty committee. I have nothing to show, so that's not something.
Yep.
Yeah, that's not something that I'm sure I would make money off of. However, she has decided that she wants to retire from being a booby streamer. A lot of people are kind of like questioning her about it. She feels she's like, on a scale of super popular to like not so popular, she's like maybe sort of in the middle. And that's saying a lot, because she gets like 4 million total, she has 4 million total views, and she has 11.2 thousand subscribers on YouTube. So I mean, that's popular enough for her to make a good chunk of change each
Yeah.
month. Yeah.
I mean, she's popular enough to have a Kotaku article about her, so
Right.
yeah.
They cared enough, but she made like a whole like YouTube video explaining why. She was getting kind of tired of showcasing her boobs. She didn't feel like she was doing much anymore. Even when she gamed, she was more focused on making sure her titties were showing for like her viewers and stuff instead of actually being focused on the game. And I get it because she probably really loves gaming, and it may have taken the fun out for her. You know, she's just like, oh, I'm here to make this money. I'm not really enjoying the game. I'm here to just like show my breasts, and then you can just fill my PayPal up with however much money you want. So she's definitely not condemning other women for doing it because you know that's already going down. See, you know, you're doing the right thing. Don't be like these other sluts. You know, or you're still a slut for showing your tits, but you're still watching me on the stream. So
How dare you do something that I like?
right. So yeah, she's she's just doing what's right for her, and that's cool. You know, if she doesn't want to do it anymore, I'm really loving that she's not trying to like wag her finger at other women that are doing the same. And some dudes, there are some dudes that are
Right.
on Twitch that have some really nice bodies, and they know where they are. There's some women that are willing to make a rain on a good looking dude, and they
Right.
do it too. So you know, I mean, get money how
Here's
you
my
feel.
thing. It's a demand. Sex is an industry. Sex is used in advertising. So we shouldn't be angry just because a woman chooses to do it because you don't walk by an advertisement with a skimpy girl and get mad. But if a girl chooses to show herself and profit directly from it, then you want to get mad. So people need to really think about what they're getting mad about and why. And two, you know what? She has every right to change her mind.
She
She's
does.
not pointing people out. She's not, saying, "Oh, I've reformed. Now I'm better than all these other girls who do it." She just says she doesn't want to do it anymore. You don't have to watch her, and God knows the male gaze is everywhere. There is an overwhelming amount of content with a sexual edge that's geared towards men. If one woman decides that she's going to wear regular t shirts instead of low cut shirts on her stream, you're not going to die. She's allowed to change, and really, we should be encouraging like public personal growth. And I think that's a lot of thing with like public figures. We expect them to say exactly the same
Mhm.
because we relate to them the way they were when we discovered them. And when they change, even if that change isn't really that important, a lot of people get mad because it's like, well, you're supposed to be this person. I'm like, you're still watching a person. And they're going to change and then they grow. And then, some unfortunate situations, they're going to deteriorate publicly. But, like, welcome it. They're a person. Let them grow. Grow with them. Like, choose to be better instead of whining about one less pair of boobs and, like, 10, 100 million else on the internet. Like, please.
Right. It's people don't understand how quickly somebody can change. I mean, I could read an article about something that maybe that I've always been doing. Like I had a real problem. I still do. It slips from me calling things like stupid and dumb, and some I've read an article that it's pretty ableist to do it. And right then and there, I wasn't going to argue with them if it's ableist and I'm not a disabled person. I'm not going to tell somebody how to feel. I'm just going to try and change. And then, you're not going to be a jerk and be like, "Oh, how come you don't say those words anymore? You used to say them." I've
Sorry, I
changed.
tried to grow up.
I
And like you don't
changed.
have to agree with the way I grew up. I mean, there's some things obviously you can't really disagree on forms of discrimination and like offensive language. But you can disagree, but it's like I'm trying to be a better person. Even if you don't agree with my methods, can you at least respect the fact that I saw something that may be hurtful and I decided to take it upon myself to try not to engage in that? Maybe you don't think it's hurtful, but you know what? I'm trying to do a good thing. Like quit raining on my parade and quit raining on other people's parade who are
Yeah.
actually affected by this thing that I'm changing.
Yeah. Don't be a dick. Please,
It's
don't
hard
be a
for people.
dick. Yeah.
Very hard for people, apparently.
Yeah, well, I'm just gonna do my best not to be a douche bottle and
Right.
being about my
Just try.
business.
Just try. Try really hard.
It's
That's all you
it's
can do.
it's you know what it does. It's free. It doesn't take that much effort. I mean, you're always gonna make mistakes because I mean I've been saying and doing things for like 30 some odd years, and there are I'm still struggling with certain like misogynist internalized misogynist aspects, but I correct myself because I know that it's wrong. Like I'm like, okay, this is something that I need to work on, or no, I shouldn't think that way. It's just
Yeah.
you
Why do I
have to
feel that way? Is
go.
it really how I feel, or am I, speaking from stereotypes? Like, you gotta sit and question yourself. If something doesn't feel right, and you gotta be comfortable with doing that. Like, I don't, the point I was making before. Like, people just want to be right. They don't want to actually take the time to be correct.
Right.
And once you start to value having the right information and doing the right thing, and valuing that trickle down effect and how that affects people around you, then it becomes a lot easier to take in the information that, maybe criticizing something you've done all your life and maybe you didn't think was offensive. Or maybe you knew it was offensive, but you didn't think it was a big deal. Like, just grow up and listen. It's not hard. And us, crazy social justice warriors, as everyone
You,
calls it,
you
we're
damn
still a lot of fun.
SJW.
Yeah, we're still a lot of like, ask anybody who has partied with me at a gaming convention or an anime convention. I am still a ton of fun. So you're calling me a drag because I'm a social justice warrior. Sucks to be you.
Yeah,
Because I'm
seriously.
cool as hell.
Yeah.
I'm super cool.
And also,
Extremely cool.
yeah, and also fuck you anyway. So,
Pretty much.
the last part of non-gaming news, but still really cool. Tell me that you saw the Civil War trailer. I know you did. I know you
I,
did.
I watched at work. I did. I mean, no, I didn't. Yeah. Not
Wow.
a, yeah.
Yeah. Nope. That wasn't watched at work whatsoever. It took me a second to get that.
Whatever. Managers
Yes.
are spreading that around. They're like, "Hey, did you see the new trailer?" I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I actually, well, I'm not ashamed to say it. I saw it at work, and and it was awesome. But what you know what? I really, this is the honest side of me. I really didn't give that much of a fuck about it. But the fact that everybody was talking about it on my timeline, I mean, they were going like step by step of what happened in the trailer. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know what? Let me go and watch this. And if this trailer isn't as good as it is, I'm gonna go on quite a few people's statuses and let them fucking have it. And what do you know? The hype was real. The hype train ticket was bought, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. I cannot wait until Civil War comes out.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. And I will say, I wasn't allowed to play video games, watch most things, blah, blah, blah. That included my exposure to comics. But I know enough about it now, thanks to my awesome game of playing catch up, that this is super awesome.
Hmm.
I'm looking forward to it. My excitement is fueled by other people's excitement because, again, I don't have that, little tingle of childhood memories of growing up on these stories and then seeing movie adaptations. But super awesome. The trailer was really good. Um, one of the things that I remember people talking about most was Spider-Man's overly CG look,
Yeah.
and I just kind of giggled at that because I went back and watched it because it's so quick. And I was watching at work, so it's kind of like looking back and forth. So I actually missed them the first time. And I went back and I watched again. I was like, oh,
There he
wow, that's
goes.
CG. It's like, wow, but it was cool, and I was like, hey, Spoder-Man,
Yeah.
excited.
I see. My thing is that I've never been a Captain America fan. Period. I have a huge comic book collection. So like I have a few Captain America comics here and there, and mostly my favorite one is when he died. I That's how much I dislike Captain America. And then I saw the first movie, the what's his name? His name is Chris Evans, right? Yeah, he plays Captain America, and it was pretty good, but it wasn't good enough for me to see the second movie. And now that they're coming with this, and it's like an Iron Man versus Captain America thing, I am automatically on Iron Man's side. So this comes and it's got Black Panther in it and all these other people that I don't really care about that I know, but like the only people that really mattered in this trailer was Black Panther and Spider-Man. That's the only
Yeah,
two people that everybody was talking about. And I would feel really bad if like Captain America was real. I would feel really bad because how do you have a movie trailer and nobody's talking about you? Everybody's just talking about Spider-Man and the Black Panther. And they're not even talking about like major things. Like they're just talking about how fast Black Panther is and you know, how he like slashed a motorcycle tire and stopped this Bucky, and then they're talking about Spider-Man, and the only thing that they're talking about with Spider-Man really is just one part, and he just says, "Hey everyone," and people were just like, "Oh my gosh!" And I
Yeah.
saw like, "Hey everyone" all down my timeline. I was just like, "Oh my god, what the hell are they talking about?"
I was like, what is this going on? It is really funny. Everybody's like obsessing over that, and I think it's pretty great because it really shows. I don't know. It shows what people have been waiting for. Like they've been waiting for everybody else, sure, but like they're like the I guess Spider-Man and the Black Panther are like the debut characters. So everyone's like, and I'm like, this is cool. This is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. His the CGI thing didn't really bother me that much. His costume is like really close to one of the original costumes, but I mean I understand, but you know what? Geeks are never gonna be fucking happy with these movies. You know, it's always something wrong, you know, always a nitpick. So I don't know. I think that the movie is going to be really, really awesome. I'm expecting for the action to be off the chain. I'm expecting for like maybe some emotional things, especially, oh, you know what? Nobody's really talking about how like War Machine, could he possibly be dead? I mean, like Don Cheadle, he's like in his suit and Iron Man lifts off his mask and he has his eyes closed and stuff, and I was just like, okay, is he dead? Like, what exactly is going on here? So
Those cliffhangers.
yeah, I don't know. I'm ready for it, and I guess that's gonna bring more interest in the Black Panther movie. I have no idea when that's supposed to be coming out. I think that's next year. I'm not sure, but that's supposed to be happening. I still kind of would have wanted. I know it's like a big dream, but I really wanted Miles Morales as this Spider-Man. Like we've been asking for that for like the longest because we've seen Peter Parker so many times. I'm tired of
Right.
Peter Parker. Can I have Miles Morales? That I think I would have peed a little. You know, I just would have been like, "Oh my god, they
Yeah.
put Miles Morales in there. They let him in there."
Trip, trip.
Yeah. So, I mean, but the movie's still gonna be freaking awesome. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, it is as great as it appears to be. Because you know what? No movie is immune to the great trailer horrible movie treatment. No
Right.
movie is immune to that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's good.
So the main topic for today,
Drum roll.
yes. So,
And my cat just knocked something down in my closet. Wonder if everyone heard that. Go on.
slightly, ever so slightly. Um, I so like last week sometime I messaged Crystal and I started noticing from the month before for February, especially if you're like if you're a geek and especially if you're a cosplayer, it's what's it going for 2 years now? 29 days of Black cosplay.
Yeah, 28, 29 Days of Black Cosplay. Yep.
Yeah, so that tag was made by Shaka Cumberbatch, and she made that so that there's a chance for just Black cosplayers to really be seen, be in the spotlight because of the fact that people push us in this corner. It's never you are Wonder Woman, you are Black Wonder Woman. It's
Right.
never like,
Black
yeah,
Sailor. Black this.
yeah. Or if they really want to, if they want to be really nasty about it, you know, if you're Sailor Moon, they call you Nigga Moon or something like that, you know, and it's
Yep, I've seen those memes.
yeah, and it's very hurtful because, of course, you know that person's feelings. But if you have any empathy at all, you're like, yo, that is really fucked up. Like I would hate for somebody to do that to me. So you know, 2 years later, and we're still having articles. People are celebrating about it, and all these articles are coming out of what Black people have been saying for years. You know, it's really hard to be a Black cosplayer, how we can be shunned at conventions, how, you know, you'll have a lot of white people who will cosplay Asian characters, but then tell you that you can't cosplay the same character as them just because you have darker skin color than them. And it gets a little it's tiring.
Right.
It's just another part, when you cosplay, you do it because you want to have fun, but it's also another part of escapism.
Right.
Yeah, so you want to play your favorite character and you want to get away from real world stuff, and then real world stuff creeps in there when you have a white person tell you you can't play that, or that's
Yeah.
not good enough, your skin is too dark for that, or your hair is not straight enough, or your body is too thick for that. And it's really really tiring. But now that these articles are coming out, you have people, instead of I guess it's another kind of like part of racism, and it deals with like gaslighting. So now it's less of, well, I don't know about less, but now more often you're here, oh, just ignore them, or just don't pay attention to it. This is black cosplayer. I have been cosplaying for 10 years and it never bothered me, as if I'm supposed to act like you, like I don't have my own feelings and I'm not my own human being and I don't have my own limits. So I just wanted to talk about it and see what you thought with this whole thing, because it's getting a little, I don't know, I feel like I want to leave Facebook groups and stuff. It's really horrible. The cosplay community in general is just so full of drama.
Yeah, so I have just something short and sweet to say to those black people who are saying, hey, just ignore them, blah, 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 it doesn't bother me. You're the token black friend. I'm just I'm just throwing that out there. Of your white friends who are, racist deep down, or not even deep down, but on the surface, and you're just pretending you don't notice. When someone accuses them of racism and they say, no, I'm not racist, I got black friends, that's you. The one that accepts all the jokes and makes excuses for it and just tries to pardon their behavior instead of calling it out. So, congratulations for that. That'll be one stamp that I'm taking back from your black card, and you better clutch that tightly because I'm coming for it.
Right.
Second thing, we shouldn't have to ignore it because it shouldn't exist.
Mm.
It shouldn't be going through it. It shouldn't be something that we have to learn to develop a thicker skin for. You know what? Not just because it's escapism and we should be able to escape from the real life racism in, our gaming and cosplay world, is because it's plain wrong. It doesn't need to happen. You're like, well, that's just how it is. I'm like, no. You don't want to change. You don't want to admit you're part of the problem. And you don't want to do the work to change the community when it's just going to benefit mainly black people, and there's no direct benefit for you. Like, listen, it shouldn't happen at all. So, and I'm not really concerned with non-black people who are naysayers, because that's to be expected, but I
Right.
need my people to stop the tone policing. And just because they've learned to let it roll off their back, which really means nothing, because you're not really experiencing the the fullness and richness of the community if there are certain people and certain environments you have to avoid because that's happening. Oh, just ignore it. So okay, don't attend this event that I want to go to because that's going to be happening. That's not really fair to you, because if you want to go, well, now I gotta avoid this so I can ignore it. So there's a lot of reasons why that viewpoint is silly, and I don't know. Like, I feel like we're at the point where we need to stop saying that because we know it's not effective. Ignoring something really never solved anything. Not in history, not socially, never. So stop giving bad advice.
Yeah, it's actually it's really shitty advice. It's actually I think it's kind of parallel to, when we talk about there's not enough like black comics or black heroes and stuff like that, and then you get those black people, they'll be like, well, create your own, and I'm like, okay, but what if I don't know how to draw? Or do you understand that it takes time and it takes money and it takes for a publisher to really feel like, hey, you know what, this story that has, let's just say, 98% black people in it, is an okay story for them, for us to run. Let's do this. Like, there's companies that are like, well, there has to be a white person that's part of this team, or a white person that's part of like the hero, otherwise the people won't relate. Don't be that black person that says, well, make your
No.
own. Don't be that black person that says, ignore it. Nobody should have to go through that. It's an imaginary world. I should be able to do whatever the heck you want. You should be able to do whatever the heck you want. And don't try and tell people to hush and stop complaining about it. That's their way for them to vent. And some people, when they get into this cosplay world and they've experienced for the first time that people are placing them in this box and they say, why don't you play a black character instead of trying to fit yourself into a white character? They don't know that there are other black people that feel the same way that they do. So it's good when there's articles out there that are talking about these cosplays, especially the more popular ones, where they're just like, I know that if I had white skin, I would be way more popular. And that is like the realest of the
It
real.
is. It really is.
It's the
And
realest.
like, okay, my other thing about the whole just ignore it and blah 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 and oh, just make your own. Okay, what have we ever made for ourselves that eventually everybody else didn't want to be a part of?
Mm.
What's going to happen is we'll make our own, and then they'll come in and say, oh, well, there's not enough diversity in here. And then they'll come in and diversify, which for them, diversifying is basically whitewashing. And then they make it into the same content that they release for themselves. But then they want to turn around and say, hey, why don't you just make your own? Okay, so you're going to exclude us from yours
Mm-hmm.
while saying that you're a diverse industry, which is kind of like the whole, all men are created equal, but we have slaves. So you're going to say that your industry is diverse and blah, 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 and you're going to make stuff with people who look like you and represent you. And then when we make our own, you're going to call us exclusionary, you're going to call us racist, and you're going to demand to be part of it, and you're going to take it, and you're going to whitewash it. So why would anyone, especially a black person, give us that kind of advice? Like, oh, just make your own. Have you read a history book?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's terrible advice. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah. It's really awful. I mean, we already have enough to deal with, especially with like certain cosplayers that go out of their way to blackface themselves. Nobody tells them, why don't you go and play a white character instead of trying to like change your skin. We as people of color, especially black people, we don't tell you not to play the character. We just say, hey girl, can you like not put blackface on and put a prosthetic on your face so that it'll look like you have more of a black nose or something like that. We can tell, we if your costume is good enough, we will know who you are without the blackface. But they want us to like not play their characters whatsoever. No, we don't even white our skin. We're just like, we're gonna put on this bomb ass costume and throw on this wig, and we're gonna go about our business. Oh, guess what? Your whole costume is invalid because you're black. So and who's gonna ignore that? Like that's an assault on you as a person. You
Yeah.
cannot. It's a restriction. That's one more thing that society tells black people what we can't be.
Right. So you're not the right skin tone. I'm like, who asked you though?
Right.
Really? Who asked you?
Can you
Who
like
has ever asked you anything?
right? I mean, let's do a worldwide search because I have no idea who the fuck asked you, but I'm gonna just go ahead and do my thing. It still hurts. It
Yeah.
still hurts. When I first started cosplaying, I cosplayed as have you ever played the game Darkstalkers before?
No, but I'm familiar with it.
Okay. So I cosplayed as the cat girl Felicia, and my costume was bomb, okay? But this is back, I think this was like 2009, I think. And it was my very first time going to New York Comic Con. And I was so excited to show off my costume because I got in shape and, I had the wig and I had the cat ears. And, it just overall, I'm just proud of myself that I made my own costume and I looked damn good in it. And as
Yeah.
soon as I got in, there were people there that were just like, oh, this costume is great, but it would have been better if you were a lighter color, or there's no, Felicia's not black. And it was like a constant barrage of white people telling me what I couldn't be. And I didn't cosplay for like a really long time. Like I left the convention, I didn't come back. Um I had a weekend pass. I didn't come back the whole weekend. Like I left, I only stayed there for a few hours, and I got home and I cried because I was just like, so I can't even be shit in my imagination. I can't even do that. And I felt so embarrassed. Like if only I knew what I know now.
Right.
And it made me feel so bad. It made me feel like I didn't belong. And this is a community where everybody is supposed to feel like they belong. And yet I was made to feel like, my costume was lesser than just because I was born with a different skin color, and I decided to work with it. So, yeah, ignoring it doesn't work. It stuck with me for years until I went to Comic Con again. I wore like a ninja costume, and then I was just like, you know what? I'm just so over it because I saw like not only the cosplay community became less fun and more of a show on who has the best body, and your resources and how much money you have really plays a big deal, and how popular you get as well. But especially if you have white skin, because you could like literally sneeze and become overnight cosplay famous if you're white. So
Yep.
it again, ignoring it doesn't work. It needs to be called out. This problem needs to be eradicated, and the reason why it keeps being brought up is because it keeps happening. Let's do something about it. Let's not shame our brothers and sisters and talking about what's bothering them. Let's try to uplift them and encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. And let's have more 29 days of black cosplay. Let's have 365 days of black cosplay. If you
Pretty
do
much.
your thing, do your thing. If once a week you want to dedicate a whole day to like black cosplayers, do it. We need the visibility. We need for people to stop. I'm still hearing people these days saying, I didn't know that black people were into comics. What the fuck? Yes.
Right. And I just want to reply with a snarky ass comment like, yeah, you guys finally took the whites only sign off the comic book shop, so we started going in. And
Right.
just make people feel really uncomfortable. It's just like, you'd think at this point people would understand that it's not that black people were just never into it and then they caught on late to the party and then they want to run into the party and be like, hey, everybody, I'm here and I'm black, pay attention to me. Just like you guys left us out of, the amendments
Mm,
applying to us, left us out of rights. And I say you guys as if I'm talking to white people. You know what? The community at large, the majority, let's call it that. The majority left us out of everything. Rights, drinking water, fountains, food, everything like that. Just we've been pushed out of everything purposely, including the gaming community. As much as people would like to think that gaming and all of their hobbies exist in a vacuum and they're free of the influences of the society that surrounds us, that's just not realistic. And I need you to wake up. Just like everything else, we've been pushed out and we're having to fight our way back in. And there's one thing that I wanted to really like hammer home about this podcast and people who play video games and they're black and they include their black identity as part of what they're doing, while other people think that it's more or less irrelevant. For us, it's not just something we're getting into. Just gaming and going to nerd conventions and cosplaying is us breaking through barriers because
mm-hmm,
those barriers were set up for us simply because we're black. So I
mm-hmm.
walk into a convention and I'm dressed as a character and I'm like head to toe in awesome cosplay. If I go and I win something, that's revolutionary
Yeah.
because it was set up to where that can never happen for people like me. And that's why it's so important. And that's why I'm just like, it, yeah, I don't know. I can go on forever and I can get very angry about it. And people need to stop with that. Oh, just ignore it. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, it's time to make some changes.
Right. Shut up. Like
If you want to
let
go and
people
like sit in the
vent.
back, that's fine. Because when we, improve the nerd community and it becomes a more inclusive place, believe me, those same people who said just ignore it are going to be all up and they're like, yeah, this is great. So I'm gonna need you to step back and not get in my way.
Right. And just like a little side note, just I thought of you still have some of these photographers, even some photographers of color, that say that, oh, well, dark skin doesn't show well in film. I mean, if you're a great photographer, you know
Yeah.
you should know how to
You're a shit
practice different
photographer if you feel
lighting.
that way. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
you should know
Shitty
your
your craft.
lighting. Um, or there are not enough, or there's no interest. I've heard it before. There's no interest in black cosplayers, or I haven't met a black cosplayer that caught my interest in which I wanted to work with them. And it's
Translation: I
yeah,
don't hang out with anybody who's not like me, so I haven't seen it.
right. And it's bullshit. There's so many gorgeous and handsome black cosplayers, people of color in general, but especially black cosplayers, because we often have those African features. There's a lot of a lot of the cosplay is reserved for Asian and white people. And then you
Right.
have white Hispanics that, that work their thing because they're like white passing, or they could do their thing because their characters have certain features or whatever.
Right.
But, it's like, it seems to be like a real problem within the black cosplay community. And we want to have fun. We want to have fun too. It's not fair. And you don't get to rule over us. And now it's
Right.
just, we're our people too. We get to speak for ourselves. And you can't tell us what to do. We will have our fun. And if you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself. That's it.
Pretty much.
Hmm. Fuck that.
But we're being too hostile.
Oh, nasty. You're a black woman with a nasty
Big black
attitude.
man. Rah!
Yeah.
Bonquisha. Blah, 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 Sharkeisha.
Yeah, okay,
All
Shaniqua.
kinds of been told that. I'm just like, but I'm not the one shooting up schools because he got rejected from, too many girls. But okay, I'm angry.
Whoa.
All
Whoa.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
You
sure.
get turned down by your coworkers, shoot people on live television.
Right.
I'm angry though. Angry
Mm,
black woman. That's me.
sure. I mean,
I'm
let's
I'm
do
still
that.
waiting for the first black female mass shooter. Waiting.
I'm waiting for that.
Is there somewhere we can bet money on like when it's gonna happen, and we can just cash out at a certain time? Because I
Yes.
feel like I can do that, and then I could just quit. And yeah,
The moment that happens, like black women are like black women. I feel like it would be something. It would be a massive thing. Like, you got on my last motherfucking nerve. You know
yeah.
what? Fuck this job. Fuck y'all, and just walk out. But I think that's gonna happen like sometime in year 2000, never, because we have like, we just, not that we're not human, we're superhuman human beings or anything. We're not superhuman beings,
Yeah,
but sure, let's do
we
that.
are.
No, but we're human beings and
Right.
we feel things. But a lot of times there are certain things that I hold my tongue for, where I'm just like, no, let me just chill, for they think I'm the angry black woman. Oh,
See, we actually have to practice restraint. Maybe that's what keeps us from killing people.
maybe, maybe
Have the
that's what's
privilege of
it.
letting go. Because look at it, like that tweet that's going around. Child of God sends his parents to heaven today. Like that's pretty much the equivalent of the headline if you commit any heinous crime as,
Yeah.
a white person. Us, our obituary if we were to commit mass crimes like that would be horrifying. So it's just like, it kind of tells you we can't get away with stuff to begin with. So yeah,
We can't
there's
even get away with dying,
seriously.
somebody kills us. Well, she smoked weed when she was 12 that one time, so therefore she deserved to die. It's
Yeah.
just, it's weird. It's really
By the
fucking
way,
weird.
legalize it. Like, okay. All right.
Yeah, whatever. So, in game releases for this week, we're coming to wrap this thing up.
Drum roll.
Yeah, game releases for this week. The first on the line is EA Sports UFC 2. That's coming out on March 15th for PS4, Xbox One. And
Hey,
yeah,
that's today.
that is, oh, that is today. Well,
It's already middle of March. Oh my God.
playing so
Come
much
on.
Division, and I don't even know what day it is, Lord.
It's division.
Salt and Sanctuary. That actually sounds really, really interesting. I'm probably gonna look that up. I was just going down a list of games that are coming out for. So that's for the PS4 and the Vita. So that's
It's interesting.
yeah,
The art
that's
looks kind of cool.
yeah. The name itself is it sounds pretty badass. So
Yeah, it does.
check that out. If anybody cares, Need for Speed. I don't know anybody that cares about that game anymore, but
Not it.
yeah, that game comes out for PC. That came out today.
Vroom, vroom.
Then Pokken Tournament. Apparently, that's really, really, really popular. That's coming out for the Wii U on March 18th.
I don't pay attention to the Wii. I feel kind of bad.
Yeah, I haven't paid attention to the Wii since Monster Hunter. So,
Mm,
yeah. Yeah, that's
okay.
way back when. Sorry, Wii. Paragon. That's PC early access.
That looks fun.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool. Uh,
Hoping it can stand out from other games of its genre, just since there's so many popular ones. But it looks unique. The skill sets and like the different classes, and I don't know, it just looks different.
Yeah, I'm definitely in for like the different games. Even still, I've been playing my like Far Cry Primal and my Division. I still have a taste for something much more different because it's like I've played those types of games before. They're
Right.
fun, but I still want to play something different.
Hmm.
Next game is Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. So that's for the 3DS. I guess that's like a party type game. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll
That's
watch a couple YouTube videos on it.
yeah. We'll
Meh.
see what happens. I don't think I'm gonna participate in that. I just got Pokemon Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby, so I've got to focus on that.
See you in a decade. Bye.
Right. I got to get Fire Emblem too. I'm hearing that's pretty good.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
jelly.
Do that.
I'm jelly. Hiragana Pixel Party. I have played
That
this
looks
game before.
awesome.
Yeah, I've played this game before on, I think it was my iPhone when I had one, and it really helped me with my Japanese. So it uses music. It's a rhythm game. It uses music and it teaches you how to use hiragana and it teaches you how to use katakana too. It's obviously because the pixel name in it. There's pixel characters and you're jumping all over things to the beat. Of course, you have to match it to the letter of the alphabet in the hiragana or katakana should you choose. But it's really cool. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, maybe I can yeah, maybe I can actually get good at Japanese, at least reading and writing again, instead of looking at something and being like, I can read half of this word and I'm gonna guess the rest. Because I used to be actually really good at conversational Japanese, and then I didn't really practice with anybody, and I deteriorated to the, halfway literate point, which I'm really sad about. So, of course, Android is getting the latest release of it, and everybody else is early, yay, but it's okay. I'll wait.
Yeah, that's the same thing that happened to me. I used to know some pretty good conversational Mandarin Chinese and Japanese and even some Spanish. But when you don't have people around you to like really practice it, it just like I can read certain things and I can understand certain things, but when it comes to responding, I'm very slow about it. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'll get this on Steam because that's what it's gonna be. It's on Steam, and I'll practice. Maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll challenge you. Hopefully, it's a multiplayer part to it. That would be really cool to see who gets to the end of the road fastest. Let's see what happens. 28 waves later. Of course, that's a play off the movie's 28 Days
Nothing gets me
Later.
to learn like competition,
Yeah, 20.
and I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
It
20.
looks fun.
Yeah, it does. Are you getting my audio late? I don't know. I feel like it's coming in late or something. I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know. I kind of slowed down for a little. Really excited about 28 Waves Later.
Ah, okay, cool. All right. So 28 waves later, again, it's a kind of a play off the 28 days later and 28 weeks later. It's not a very complicated game, ladies and gentlemen. It's waves of zombies coming at you, and you just have to survive by killing all of them as they come at you. So that comes March 18th. I see that you wrote
Yep.
something. What does it say? Suplex?
Yeah, I was watching a friend of mine stream, to be completely honest, and she was petting a goat, and I told her to suplex the goat. And I guess when I first typed it, I had my cursor in there. So yes, March 18 suplex. You should definitely suplex your way onto Steam or wherever it's coming out and check out the game. Is it on Steam? I feel like it is on
Yeah.
Steam.
Yeah, it's on
Okay.
Steam.
Everything's on Steam.
Everything is on. Everything is. Get a PC. That's it.
Do
Get
it.
everything on Steam.
Do it. Just do it. Seriously, get a PC. It's not that expensive to build. I mean, relatively speaking, it's not as expensive to build as it used to be. Definitely not. So it's a lot more accessible to people now. And you guys should definitely build a PC. Hint, hint. Maybe I'll do some kind of super long tutorial on how to build your PC without breaking everything, in which I will probably break something and still upload the video. So yeah, do that and then get the game.
I will gladly watch those videos as I am building my own computer. You already know that. And you know
Ooh,
what? If you have a laptop and you download Steam, you'll basically have a portable arcade with you.
pretty much.
Yeah, so you can't do that with console. As much as I love consoles.
I know.
Well, whatever. Well, that's it for us, ladies and
Yep.
gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to Plus 10 Melanin. Is this going up on the new channel? Did you make the channel?
Yeah, I made the channel. So I'm going to put on a new channel and everything that we talked about, the games and the article about J.K. Rowling and all the other stuff is going to go in the information below. So check it out because we talked about a bunch of stuff and it's all really super extremely important stuff because we both said so, right?
Yep. And just so you know, we will be uploading this on SoundCloud. I know how wonky it can be when you're listening to something on YouTube and the moment you close it, it shuts off. So we have been uploading. We have uploaded the last episode, the very first episode, the origin story, to SoundCloud. We're working on getting it up on iTunes, so we'll see what happens for you Apple heads. Again, thank you so much for listening. This is the Grim Freaker, and
And this is Crystal Killjoy signing out.
bye.
Later.